Hey everybody, ronarray here, and my monk is progressing very good through the endgame. I'm mostly farming tier 15s right now, without a lot of issues, so I need a lot of Waystones. And in this video, I wanted to share what I'm using in my Atlas tree to have a lot of Waystones and better drops as well. Click at the particular timestamps and I'm going to explain all my choices and what I'm picking at what moment. Let's go. So let's start with the most important node in the Atlas tree that I think you should always take first. It's content crossroads right here to the right from the center. It gives 20% increased quantity of Waystones found in your maps. And I think it's absolutely mandatory in almost all situations, because with constant crossroads, you will be able to drop more Waystones and it will be significantly easier for you to progress. So I think your first points should be absolutely invested here into constant crossroads. And after that we are going to the next set of points, which we are going to receive right after. I think second important part is Fortunate Path. Fortunate Path gives us increased rarity of Waystones found in maps, and I think it's helping a lot as well. So your Waystones are going to drop magic or rare significantly more often, so you will save your regal orbs that otherwise you will need to constantly click to improve your Waystones. You will also be able to save some augmentations even if you have a lot of those. So I think those 2 points definitely worth it to go next. And after it, that's funny, but I think High Road is a very good option too. I would recommend to take 1 to 3 points and take a High Road, because Waystones found have 20% chance to be a tier higher is a very important node. That way you will receive more higher tiers, especially if you're closer to the top, you will drop more 15s, you will drop significantly more higher Waystones. If you will stack a lot of those bonuses, you will be able to drop 15s, even in 13s. It's not really happening that often, but that's a pretty cool bonus. So that cluster is probably the most important at the start. It will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points right here. And those should be your first 8 points. But the next points are pretty questionable, and I'm going to showcase a few different options for it. So the next step that I'm usually taking is high tier Waystones up here. I think it's definitely worth it. We are receiving 10% chance to be a tier higher for your Waystones, and I already explained why it's pretty important. So I would take at least 1, 2 and 3 points here, and after that probably take Teaming Horde, because 10% increased number of monster packs is absolutely amazing, and at least higher tier Waystone point here. However, Crystalline Growth together with that point and Local Knowledge should be left for the future, so I don't recommend to take them early. Going up after you already got Constant Crossroads, High Road and Fortunate Path, I would just recommend to take Teaming Horde and all small nodes that you can get. After it, we are moving to the next cluster. So next cluster is to the left, and I definitely recommend to start with Rising Danger, because more rare monsters will lead to significantly better drops. Most of the cool drops in your Waystones are going to drop from rares, so getting more rares is going to improve your exile drops, chances for cool drops such as Divine for example, and it's going to improve your quality of life overall. So next step after you got points here just for Teaming Horde and small ones is taking Rising Danger. I think it's totally worth it. And after Rising Danger, I think Twin Threats is very good, because 1 rare is going to be duplicated. It's guaranteed 1 more rare in your map. It's helping a lot, and I'm sure that it's going to be very nice in almost all cases. And it's also worth only 2 points. It's also give 5% more rare monsters here, and together with Rising Danger it will be 20%. So I think that way at the top definitely worth it. After you got it, it's a very good idea to try Bountiful Bloodlines. I think Bountiful Bloodlines worth it, because 25% increased magic monster in your maps is a huge increase. It's going to give you more loot, it's going to give you more experience, and it's going to speed up your progression in general. I think when we can swap it together with magic pack size 20 more %, it's work very good, amassing pack size in your maps. More monsters lead to more loot, and more satisfaction in general, also more Waystones too. So after you got all of that, I think that's a perfect time to go for local knowledge and crystalline growth. I think local knowledge is worth it even if it's not really that stable. Mostly because grass biome maps have 40% increased chance to drop socket currency, which is very good right now, and also chance to drop basic currencies swamp and water biomes. You don't really need to focus on particular biomes, you're probably going to farm a lot of random ones. But I still think it's worth 2 points, because 2 points it's not a lot and the bonus itself is pretty cool. I'm currently not taking Precursor Influence, but I think it's a very strong point right here. So you can drop higher tier Waystone and repick for Precursor Influence in the case if you really enjoy tablets. I think it could be even more efficient later in the game. However, at the start I wouldn't go for it because you don't really need a lot of tablets. And since you finished that part and you took Expanding Hordes, I think going here for Deadly Evolution is absolutely worth it. Deadly Evolution is a very strong bonus because rare and unique monsters in your maps will have 1 to 2 additional modifiers. Every modifier at your rare and at your unique boss is going to improve your loot in general. So I think Deadly Evolution is definitely worth it. But please keep in mind that it's going to increase the difficulty of the fight. So if you're not sure how strong you are, if you're not sure if you can kill those rares and bosses, you shouldn't take it. But if your build is strong, if you're playing my build for example, which feeling very comfortable in tier 15s, I recommend to take it because it's going to provide more loot. Another interesting idea that you can use if you're not up for Expanding Hordes, it's going for Grueling Journey. I think Grueling Journey would be very promising, especially when you have overbuffed Waystones. That way, instead of going to the left with magic, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, taking Grueling Journey and Treasure Coves. I don't really think Treasure Coves are currently worth it, because in my opinion chests are too slow in the Waystones. But we have what we have. Even is it worth 1 point, that depends on how fast you like to run your maps. However, Grueling Journey could be a very nice bonus. Increased effect of explicit modifiers is a very cool way to increase both your Waystones and your loot in general. So it's pretty nice bonus. I still think that magic pack size and magic monsters could be better, especially if you feel like you really want to level up. But if you just want loot, I think going for Grueling Journey is a very good idea. I currently don't think that Lucky Pillage is worth it because you need to spend so much point going for it, and 5% quantity is not that bad. However, since in PoE2 there's not a lot of ways to increase your quantity, it could be an option as well. So genuinely talking about tablets, I think a lot of people are taking Enigmatic Identification or Remnants of Power. I currently don't think that Remnants of Power are worth it, but Enigmatic Intensification could be an option too. That way you will just need 3 more points and you can drop higher tier Waystones for example and go for it. So currently based on what we can see, I think for a proper endgame after you progressed early, going for Precursor Influence is probably worth it because more tablets could be used for your benefit. And at the end when you're farming tier 15s, 3 should look like that. If you're focusing not on leveling up with magic monsters and on the loot, you need to replace those points and go here instead. So you will be able to go to the Deadly Evolution still, but from that point here. And the next point is set of bosses. I think set of bosses is just like a very simple way because you're going to receive points for that tree when you're killing bosses in tier 15. I'm currently going through the right because I think quantity of items dropped from map bosses are better than rarity for them. At least I think that way. I will probably test it a little more further later on. And passing for Radiant Waystones is going to improve your drops significantly and will help you to maintain your tier 15 Waystones consistently. So at the bosses I would just go here. When you will receive more points you can go for Shrines, Strongbox or Essences. Compared all what I can see here, I think Essences is probably the best idea because it's providing a very decent amount of loot. So the next point probably just go here and then going for Argenized Forces because it's a pretty strong buff and it could help with both leveling up and getting more drop too. So that's how your tree could look at the end, and that tree helped me a lot with both maintaining Waystones and farming my currency. So that's been it. I will try to update it further when I will have more trees for different mechanics, but for now I think that's how it should be for early game. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.